welcome everyone to Access the Text for September. Today we have myself, Head of Solutions here at Access 4, Ann Southall, our Head of Product here at Access 4, and Lee Vickers, one of our Senior Solutions Consultants, to talk about a few things that we've got in the pipeline and also some products that we've got that would be good for you to understand a bit better. Please put your Q&A questions in the box below within the Zoom environment and just ask those, and we'll either answer those live or answer them through chat. So what are we discussing today? First up, we've got a product update from Ann around our new CPQ tool and the functionality that's coming in behind that to assist you with being able to do quoting and sales. We've got a discussion around Cara from Luke. Another discussion around iCall Suite from Luke as well. And I'll do some short updates. And during the webinar, we'll answer the Q&A as we go along, if we can. So over to the product update from Ann.
Awesome. Thanks, John. So first I'll talk through a few things that are coming really soon, the next release of SaaSboss. Last month, we talked about a few things that were coming soon. One of them was the PRC roadmaps was going to be retired. It has since been retired. Now all your ideas will come through the ideas portal, and that's where you can look at all the roadmap ones, all the voting, and all which ones have been promoted and gone to the roadmap already. So that's all happened. But coming very soon, we have international number blocking. So that's the ability to block particular international countries at both resale and enterprise level. So you can, on the call out, so you can just block those. That's coming very soon. Then we have the ability to delete payments. So that's the ability for you to delete enterprise payments within SaaSboss. So there's a new functionality to put deletes through there. The next one is a UX update. So required field error management. So if you've noticed a change in how the errors appear, that's the update from our UX team. So that's a user experience improvement. And then the other thing we've added is Canberra and Hobart time zones into the drop down. So although they're different time zones, we're giving them some love and giving them a nice shout out. All right, then the big piece we have is the CPQ tool. So that's coming out very, very soon with the roadshows. So that's the opportunity quoting and the visual call flow design. So we've gone through that in the last few months already. So we've talked to the opportunities, we've talked to the quotes, and we gave a very high level view of the visual call flow design in its prototype last month. But now it's into SaaSboss and we're doing our testing. So it's still a little buggy, still a few things been coming through from the development team, but we're going to give you a sneak peek ahead of the roadshows on that. So if we move across to the other screen, there we go, my mouse. So this is in SaaSboss. This is sitting there live in our development and testing site. I'm just going to talk you through. So this is the same view you had before. So you can still see your licenses and devices, but this is setting up from the call flow first. So I can do quite a few things from here. So I can drag and drop an IVR onto the screen. I can add, let's say, a call center here. I can drag and drop hunt groups and attach it to that one. I can go into individual call centers. This is hard to see from this just far away screen, but I can give, say, a voicemail add-on. I can give it an overflow. Feel free to jump in, guys, if you want to talk at any point of this. Let's say, so we'll give it a call out, we'll give it a 60-second overflow, and so that will get added in there. You can drag and drop, move everything around as you like. Still, as I said, it's still in development, so there's still quite a few things here. You'll be able to edit the call options, but go through and do a lot more stuff. But this is the sneak peek. So you can go through, you can add labels, you can add all the numbers you need. You can go through and choose the different number types. But this is so you can have a really good visual view. You can sit down with your customer and talk them through it as you're designing it for them. It's really, really quick to add things. You just click, add the next thing you want. I'll check on some users, for example. Not there, sorry. I'll check on some users on the hunt group. I can add users. I can say I want 5 and I want them of basic user. I can add them there. You can group different types of users, so I can go through and add more user types. I put some executive users in there as well. And you can go through and talk them through as you go through it. And that's a little quick sneak peek.
You can do a fax service as well, can't you?
You can do a fax service, so I can drag and drop a fax service onto that. Have that down there. You can move that, you can undo. So if I made a mistake there, I can undo that, undo the users, movements. You can edit pretty much anything in here for as much detail as you like in. I could go in and add a lot of information to those users. So here they are here, I can come and edit this user, put in all their names, numbers, email address, get it really set up so it's straight to go into one-touch provisioning as the next step. So it's that giving you flexibility. So this user as default was user number 1, and you can put that through. So you can add users really quickly, push it straight through into your proposal, and have that go through so you can get the sale out really quick. Or I could spend time and go through and give the full names, all the information there. So when it goes to provisioning, all of it's sitting there and the provisioners can have a look, review, and then tick through, and it can go one-touch provisioning. So that's the flexibility we're trying to give you. We're trying to make it much easier to get the sales team and the provisioning team working together and having more accurate quotes, better discussions with your customers, and keep that engagement really high throughout the whole sale.
So the really cool thing about this tool is you can sit down when you go out with your sales team, or if you are part of the sales team, you go out to talk to your clients about a deal. You can sit down with them, you can go through their whole call flow design and sit down and quote that out. And the ultimate aim of this will be that it'll bring the licenses across from the call flow and into the quoting tool. So you'll automatically have all the right licensing that is within the call flow into the tool, into the quoting tool, and that'll allow you to really quickly give them a price. You can potentially do it there if you want to, and show them the potential price that they would pay for a deal almost immediately while you're sitting in the meeting. Another cool feature that Ann's got on there from the contact center queue is you're able to also put in overflows and all that sort of stuff. You'll be able to do everything you could do within SaaSboss within this call flow. As an example, to be able to give your client as a call flow. I mean, you do it in Visio, or you do it in Draw.io, or you do it in Omnigraphel or anything at the moment, you'll be able to do it live within SaaSboss. And ultimately, as Anne says, our ultimate aim is in 6 to 12 months is to be able to have it where you'll be able to provision from the call flow and put that live into SaaSboss. So, you know, it makes it a hell of a lot easier for your provisioning teams and your support teams to be able to understand where it's come from and where it's been delivered, or how it's been delivered. So we're really excited by this tool because we believe it's a game changer in a lot of ways. I know some tools have call flow design capability, but this will allow you to actually quote with a call flow design tool and then follow that all the way through the process eventually to be able to deliver to your users or clients from here. So we're really, really excited about that. I know Luke and the team have been testing it with Anne, have been commenting on it, have made a whole heap of creational examples of where we would use certain things, why we wouldn't do certain things, how certain things would work. So we've put a lot of input into this, and it's taken quite a few months to get to this point to be able to show you this. And as Anne said, it'll be coming live through the roadshow. So if you've got the chance, and I'll be mentioning it a bit later, please get to the roadshows and see a much more definitive display of the call flow design tool. So is there any more you wanted to show there?
No, it's a sneak peek.
It's a sneak peek. There you go, guys. So I would recommend that with the slide I've got a bit later on, you have a look at that and then join the roadshows if you can to get a really good sneak peek at that and actually speak to Anne and her team on site around the call flow design tool and even some of the solutions consultants as well. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. So, go Cara, over to Luke.
Next slide.
Next slide.
Bring up everything.
Bring up everything.
Yeah, up there. All right, so as you'd expect, Cara is going through another update. The reason there's so many updates to Cara mainly is because the CRMs that they connect to, they have to update your APIs and how they interact with them. So, like last year, Salesforce and Zoho just changed their certificate method and how they do the API, hence the reason for the update. This time around, there's been a few other things like that, but one of the things that was brought in was the ability to use auto answer for WebEx. So now you don't actually have to do a two-step to answer the calls, for example. When doing the upgrade, we did find some people in the last round had a little bit of a struggle as the old version wasn't closed prior to the installation for the upgrade there. However, the simple part is if you do get to the end of the installation and it's not showing the new version number, you don't have to do any special tricks or anything like that. Just click on cancel and just run the installer again. And that'll actually close the application 100% to do the upgrade. And then you should be able to continue on as per normal. The next thing is the ability to select a device you want to work with. So you may have some people who are traveling from different locations, got devices, or maybe working from Teams, WebEx, or a softphone, whatever they're working with, and they'll be able to interact with that device directly rather than going to SaaSboss and changing their primary device and all the other bits and pieces. You'll be able to do it directly from Cara. So as you can see from the picture there, we've got the app bar on the left-hand side, and changing the device is connected directly to the call history. So that way you can select there and then click on the number to go or initiate the call. This will be quite handy. We've had having a bit of play with this, and I'm actually quite impressed. So the other SE guys have also been playing with it as well. Salesforce have also decided to allow the lower licenses to now have a API access. So no longer need to have only Enterprise Edition. You can now use the Professional and Essentials licenses to do an open CTI open auth connector, which will be great for some people, as there's nothing worse when you get to site and you realise they don't have the right edition and you're sort of stuck in a horrible position. So that's it for the Cara update. It's available now to download directly from us, or you can get it from Mondego Direct.
iCall Suite.
Yeah, iCall Suite. All right, so some changes that are coming through for iCall Suite with SaaSboss, so the single sign-on. So what we've got here, this is going to start allowing you to just switch.
Turning it.
No, I want to go back. Okay, good question. All right, so for the single sign-on, so your partners will be able to start. So you'll be able to start going into SaaSboss yourself, go into the reseller account and the actions, and go to your iCall Suite portal directly. So you'll be able to go in there and manage your customers instead of lodging a ticket, getting a separate login created, and then having to remember another set of logins you don't really want to have to worry about. Yeah, the other portion is the end user is also going to have the option to be able to use single sign-on as well. So they'll also be able to go to SaaSboss, go into their My Page profile, and next to the primary device, you'll see a new icon saying go to iCall Suite, and now allow them to go directly in. So this makes life a lot easier. So no longer you'll have to create a tolling user and then go in and wait for a response email, then respond to a ticket and wait for someone else to then assign the licenses, going back and forth over and over again and creating all of the users directly and tolling yourself. You'll now be able to go directly to the end user and assign them. At present, the existing customers, you'll be able to use the single sign-on when you add the licenses. However, the new ones are soon to be released where they'll be able to go directly in the same manner as well. All right, so let's go to the next page. So just a reminder, for the licenses that are available to assign, so we've got two types. We've got your endpoint licenses and your group licenses. So Essentials, Advanced, and Ultimate. They can be assigned directly to the end user. And then from there, if you need the supplementary licenses such as your agent and supervisor console, you can add them on as well. Take note, if you're using this supervisor or agent, you do need to have at least one ultimate license across the enterprise to be able to add this on. You can't just go directly on and just say, I'm going to have a supervisor console. The next parts are the group licenses, where we've got the wallboard projection. So this is a pool of projections that's available. It's not assigned to a user. That's why we decided to put it on the group level. So you'll be able to go in there and then click on the group and add the amount of projection licenses that you wish to use there. Same with CRM. You can also add in CRM capability, and as you'd expect, that is also a group-wide function. Okay, the next one. Okay, so where to find them, where to activate them. So on the endpoint, just like any other service with Access 4, if you want to assign or an additional add-on, you go to the add-ons and then you add on the service pack. Also, with the endpoint, there's going to be another icon that's been introduced, which is the iCall Suite permission setting. So you can actually restrict your customer from going in and changing data within the configuration. However, you will need to add this at the start to go in and modify the settings for your customer. Going down the bottom for the group licenses, where you go create your services underneath in the group, where you go, create endpoints and other bits and pieces. This will also be in here for the assigned to group service packs, like I was mentioning before, for the CRM and board projection. All right, so business analytics. Yep, so go to the next one. So the last month, we've had a bit of inquiries about setting up dashboards, and a lot of people seem to get into a little bit of a flurry about how do they go about doing this. Basically, what you need, it's a really simple process. Try to dress it up in a way where it looks like a call flow for the customer. So I'm going to do a bit of a show and tell here after we go through this. But basically, what all we're going to be going through is going to be creating a couple of tiles for the advertised numbers, such as 1300 and a direct number. Then we create a contact group for the next layer there, where we can see how many calls came into the auto attendant and then filtered out to the call queues. And then most people want to see some like unreturned missed calls, and then we'll jump into the dashboards that we'll add in. So this sort of process should really only take about 2 to 3 minutes, and it fits roughly about 80% of the audience of what they want to see. Okay, so let's go on to share screen. Okay, so to do this, of course, you need to have access to iCall Suite. Simply go to DDI reports, like I just mentioned before, on DDI call activity. Here. And from here, we click on the plus for filter. We want to restrict the call data to 1300. So type that in and tick the box. And click apply. That'll give you all data because calls going to that number, which there isn't today. Expand this out and just give it a nice easy name, something that the customer will remember. So 1300 and whatever the phone number may be. Time. And do the same again for the direct number. So this will want to be connected to the auto attendant. You can just type in a name here. You don't have to go all the way typing in the phone number. And get through to the other 1300. What did done? Okay. And apply again. It will create our second tile. So this will be auto attendant, DID tile. Click save on that one there. So we've already got our 2 DDIs, 4 tiles. Then we come down to our contact group reports. So we can start creating those layers. Once again, come to here, untick all, and then we separate it out. So come in here, do the auto attendant, select the one you want to work with, click apply, do your tile. So this will be auto attendant group summary. And so again for the other 2. So I'm just going to do just the one. So we'll do sales. Find that one there, and over here, just update the name. And then we're going to do our unreturned missed calls. Now, with the unreturned missed calls, it's kind of an idea to put a filter in there for the minimum call times that we want to report on. So the way we can go about doing that is we go to our restrictions and we can say, I want to not report on all calls that were disconnected for, say, 12 seconds. So this accounts for things like maybe you've got a mandatory entrance message where it says, please hang up due to, if it's an emergency, and call 000 if you were doing something for a medical centre. So that way you don't have a lot of unreturned missed calls that aren't actually needed to be reported on. Okay, click and apply from here. Now we're just about ready. We can come up to our dashboard. We hit refresh on here. And we just add the tiles in as needed. So put in our 2 phone numbers at the top. And we'll focus right up. Turn it here. Okay, we can use this to wire it out. Then we're going to bring in this one here. So we've got how much calls actually came in via the auto attendant. So the reason I do this together, so that way you can distinguish how many calls came in via the 1300 and the other. It's kind of fun trying to do this on the fly. Underneath there, you would then put in the contact centres. This one here, so we'll do the sales here. And I've got to make my tile, John. Thanks, mate. So missed calls, click on save on here. And all right, so you can see it's gone a low place. I'll bring it back all together again. Okay, so pretty much got the main summary of what most people will be looking at, and then you could add in the agents by using the tile creation tool. So in this case, we'll be using the contact center. We want a table of data. We want to know what everyone is doing with activity. Go to next. This will keep all, this is just the name of the agent. What is the status for ACD, from do not disturb, call status, and all the other headings are self-explanatory. Go to next. Then we just say agent activity. And then we can untick this, select the call something we want to focus on for that group. And then click on save. And of course, that will then come in. And the other usual thing people want to see is they want to see what are the calls that are waiting. Shouldn't need to really do live calls because you should see the live calls already connected to the agents already. We'll go back again. Live calls, sorry, calls waiting. And down below, we want to know the calls that are waiting on sales. Is your one thing here? Here we go. On save, dashboard, and refresh again. And we just add in the agent activity and our calls that are waiting. So, of course, we're doing under a bit of rush here, but generally this sort of thing should only, the whole setup should, from setting up the call flow to this, should only really take about 5 to 10 minutes. And if it, as you're going along, you can also do the reports based on the same sort of filter method as well. All right, so that is it from me on how to get a dashboard up and going to fit most of the audience.
Great, thanks. Thanks, Luke. Let me just start sharing again. So thank you for that information.
That's okay.
Really good. So just quickly going to talk about native call transfer for MS Teams Enhanced. So I know a lot of people would use MS Teams Enhanced at the moment and understand that they require Cara to be able to work and do the call transfer functions as well as the contact center functions and CRM functions within Teams. This native call transfer capability doesn't take away from the CRM requirements. It still is required if Cara is still required for those, but so CRM integration, activity logging and number popping, but they aren't required if you're just going to transfer calls directly. So if you've got some users that need the enhanced functionality, but don't require Cara, they would be able to have the ability to have native call transfer and be able to transfer calls between themselves and other people within the business. And that will allow them to, not have to utilise Cara moving forward. There is some enabling and disabling triggers that are required from the DNS level. So there's a DNS change that's required. And the change is about 5 minutes of call down time. So it's probably best to do that after hours if you're going to go down this path. And if you are going to go down this path, it is probably good to talk to one of the solutions consultants about what the best way to do it is, because it can impact your business or your client's business, and you'd rather not do that during the day. So it would be a good idea to converse with your PGM and then the solutions consultant to make sure about that. There is one caveat though: line transfers cannot be retrieved like they can be in Cara due to post-transfer call handling changes with the native calls transfer that we've had for MS Teams enhanced users. So if you have any questions about that, please reach out to your solution consultant. So just over to some final updates. So yesterday we held our first in-person technical training session down the road here, and Mitch ran that, one of our solutions consultant, with about 5 partners. And we're looking at moving to virtual group training, technical training as well. It'll have 3 by 3 hour virtual sessions. Our first one that we're looking to hold is on the 3rd, 4th and 5th of October. There's 6 seats still available for this session. Now you will need to be available for all 3 3-hour sessions, it's really hard to say, to be able to attend, because you need to go through each one of them, because we're collapsing one whole day into 3 3-hour sessions. If you'd like, I'm going to leave this on the page for a little bit, but if you'd like to register your interest, please scan that QR code or go to the URL at the bottom and put the event code in down the bottom there. And there is a questionnaire on Slido to fill in for us to be able to look at everyone's interest at being able to sit through those sessions. They will be held in the morning between 9 and 12. So that allows you to sit through these sessions and then continue to do some work in the afternoon for your clients and work as you need to. So I'll just leave that on the page at the moment. Did you want to just have a look?
So yeah, we've got a few questions coming through here. So we've got one here, which Mitch would like to answer. Will the tool make allowance for Teams calling license costs, which is a part of the client costs? I would be taking that one as no, mainly because the cost of the Teams end is charged by Microsoft, not by us at present. Second one here, I may have to take offline. Will there be a migration in the system from the tolling directory service pack to be cancelled and then new tolling add-ons implemented to the individual users? I'll have to get back to you offline. I believe it is getting done retrospectively as it does come through. And for the third one, will one wallboard license be required for each projection a customer wishes to make, say for 3 different calls and queues? If you want to project it to 3 different screens, yes, you will need to do that. However, you're not limited to the amount of queues that you can display on one screen. It's just a matter of utilising the real estate space you've got available. We'll reach out to you directly to work out what you're trying to achieve and help you out afterwards. Sanjay, can the ability to edit saved reports coming in iCall suite? I'm assuming, if I'm reading that right, you're wanting to edit the reports that have been saved. This hasn't been enabled, and mainly is around the compliance, sort of like around the compliance or the variable change. So if you go to change the report, go to change the variable report, and then you say, I didn't make these changes, or that's not what I wanted, and you want to revert back to something, it can make a little bit of havoc. However, if you are in a point where you do need to change reports on a regular basis, what I'd recommend doing, rather than just clicking on the schedule, if you use the favorites option, you can save a filter based on that report you want to do, and then you can modify it in there and then click save and generate a new report. Again, Mitch, if you can remind me to reach out to Sanjay afterwards to be able to work through that as well.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll move on to the next slide. Hopefully everyone's either scanned that or gone to the website and entered their event code to join us for those virtual sessions.
Oh, we got one late question.
One more question.
Will your new call flow designer be able to generate a call flow for an existing enterprise or for documentation purposes? And
Right, so that is not part of the CPQ use of the call flow designer tool, but when it comes out for provisioning or, like customer support, you will be able to do that. So any solutions that you've come through the CPQ tool, you've designed as a call flow, provisioned through the call flow design tool, in the next step that's coming out later, they'll have that. You better export that for send it to your customer if you need to have a look at it internally, whatever you want to do, you can export, use it that way. And yes, so yes, the answer is yes, but not in this first MVP iteration for the CPQ tool.
Yeah, it is a little while away, but there is plans to get there. So we will update you as we bring that out, more features out to the call flow design tool.
So yeah, you'll have that for all new ones, but the existing ones won't come until later iteration.
Yep. Just on the training, if we get enough interest, we will be looking at hosting more of those virtual sessions, as well as we are planning more instructor-led sessions, in-person instructor-led sessions throughout the next quarter. Over to the Access 4 roadshow. So we have our roadshows again. So we all attended those in April earlier this year. We're now hosting them in October. So our first one kicks off in Brisbane at Hotel X on Wednesday the 5th of October. We have then the Sydney Pullman, Hyde Park on the 13th of October. We have the Melbourne Pan Pacific down near the Exhibition Centre here in Melbourne on the 20th of October. And then we have the Adelaide, we are now visiting Adelaide this one. We're at the Pullman on the 27th of October. So please, if you want to see more about the call flow design tool, please register for the roadshows.
Please do.
cool.
So any more questions, Luke, that we've got on the...
I don't believe we've got any more questions. Hang on, yep, we do. What is this virtual technician training?
So the virtual technical training is for SaaS Boss. So it is SaaS Boss training. So it is base level SaaS Boss, getting an understanding of what each of the features require. So it's good for new users. So for people that have started in your business from a technical point of view and require the ability to learn SaaS Boss, they've never used it, or for people who have used it but are unsure of how to use it or some of the features and capabilities behind it. So we go through and we give a bit of a brief about what Access 4 is, where SaaS Boss came from, and then we start working on how to build a call flow within SaaS Boss and what each of the areas mean, what an enterprise means, what the group means, and a few of those sort of things. And then we roll on and get you to deploy a call flow within the call flow that we've got set up. We then start working with you on learning how to potentially ask your clients questions about how their call flow may work, or how they call flow design, or what their call flow design might be that they want required. So the trainer sits there and lets you ask them questions, and then you build a call flow based on the answers that he gives or she gives. And then you have to build that call flow, and then we'll present the call flow that we believe is the call flow that you should have designed. And from there, you will then put that call flow into production, effectively deploy that call flow within SaaS Boss. And then we'll do some quick tap training around how to log a support ticket in case you need to, but also some troubleshooting tips on how to troubleshoot within SaaS Boss. So we'll give, the trainer will then set up some, or break what you've just built, and then get you to troubleshoot how to fix it within the solution. So there was another question there, wasn't there?
We're sending tickets to New Zealand for people to come over. One of the questions?
Don't believe so, no.
Is Perth too far away to drive? Just a little bit, but
it's a long way. There is plans to do a roadshow in Perth, but at the moment that's not in this bunch of roadshows. Apologies for that.
Questions coming through pretty good now. Are there high levels of training over the basics?
That is in the plans. This is our first one. Our next one to build is MS Teams Basic, so allowing people to understand the MS Teams side of things. We then plan on doing iCall Suite, but in the future we do have VoIP-MON or advanced troubleshooting courses in the pipes that we're working on to build out, but that's probably another 3 to 6 months away easily.
Okay, we've got another one. Is there possible to say multiple device configurations for the same model? Yes. So SaaSPOS, as you know, is in a tiered model. So you can have, we've got our configuration that we put out to the general population. Then you can have your configuration for that model at the reseller level, enterprise level, group level, and the user level as needed.
Any more questions?
Not yet.
Give you half a minute more to ask any more questions if anyone's got any more questions, and then we'll close down. Again, thank you all for attending today. We really appreciate your time. We're really excited about the CallFlow design tool that's coming out and the future roadmap for that CallFlow design tool, because we believe it'll be a fantastic tool that you'll be able to use within SaaSPOS, and it will help your pre-sales team, your provisioning team, and your support team in the long run. So, well, thank you very much for attending, and there is no roadshow next month in October. Because we've got all the roadshows, we've decided that we're not going to host Access to Text next month. So please, when you can, attend the roadshows. A lot of the information will be in the roadshows that we will be giving out in October anyway. So see you there, hopefully. Thank you for joining us.